And welcome everyone to game number 3 of the MSL Code S. This is actually Code A. The MSL Code A Grand Finals. This is, of course, the matchup between the pink Zerg player, Uncia, and his orange Protoss opponent over here in the bottom right-hand corner, BYU Stefanovich. BYU, he's actually one of the only players in this MSL tournament that is not from Team MSL. So, way to represent, making it your way all the way to the winner's bracket finals, and then falling down, and then all the way back again into the grand finals. So, excellent work there. We're going to see another, some sort of an expand build, probably a Forge Fast Expand, given the small size of the map. The map, of course, just learned this is not Newkirk District, as this is the one that doesn't have a watchtower. Usually there was a watchtower here on Newkirk District. This is Newkirk Precinct, and you can tell because it has wolves. The wolves definitely make it cooler. In addition to wolves, it also opens up an additional attack path into this expansion over here. Other than that, pretty much the same map, same layout, everything like that. Actually, really early scout from Stefanovich. He wants to make sure that there's no 6 pool. That's basically what's going to happen. He makes sure he doesn't want to play against Action Jesus, because no one should be able to win that many games. Good delay there. Yeah, he might actually get that. I think he might get it. One more. Almost there. Stay on target. He's going to escape, make himself into a building. That is not something that probes can do. So actually, that cost him a little bit of money. So good move there from Stefanovich. Looking at the... Ooh, he's going to go Nexus first expand. That's actually a good choice given the large size of the map and noticing that there was no spawning pool down for a while. So want to get that economic advantage as fast as possible. The difference here is he didn't see another... Okay, there is another expansion. It just wasn't down then. So let's see. Big things from Newkirk Precinct. Once again, it's another pretty open map, although the bases are a little bit closer and generally a little bit easier to defend than some of the other maps in the map pool. There's no Xel'Naga towers on this map. Means that keeping map control is a little bit harder just because you don't have any way to have extreme vision. So in that case, I'm expecting Uncia to try to exploit how creep gives you vision and use those overlords, particularly as Stefanovich is going for this Nexus first expand build, which now will be revealed as he goes in. Should notice. He might not notice. You should be able to click on this and know that the timings. This is way farther along than it should have been if this Nexus was already done. This is just kind of how it works out. Not super important, but just something to know. If you go in and you see the Nexus really close to completion and the Forge done, it can mean that they went Nexus first. Which means that you have to deal a little bit more with economy, but you can do a little bit more in the short term. So, taking stock of the situation. Interesting, one gas. Looks like he's going for speed. The one gas at a time. Only one person in gas. Okay, there we go. Some builds actually rely upon putting only a certain number of workers and a certain number of gas geysers. Some of the more famous ones are Creator Prime. He actually played, you don't see him as much right now, but he was a really good Wings of Liberty player. His thing was 2 and gas. 2 and 2 gas is Protoss. It worked with all the timings for the rest of this build, and so he wasn't over-mining gas, or being delayed a little bit because he was waiting for 1 gas geyser with 3. So sometimes certain things, you throw down a certain number of workers. For instance, you can do that with... I want to say the old school Reaper builds. Could be a little bit off of that though. I apologize. It's been a while since I watched games from Wings of Liberty. Turns out. Another 1 gas geyser. Kind of an interesting choice. The 2 gas geysers down from Stefanovich. The Robo Facility. Not surprised to see that at all. Once again, Stefanovich is going to be... It looks like he's going to be trying to rely a little bit more on, once again, a little bit of the cutesy defense, which means that you use special abilities and really powerful units, but small numbers of units is basically what the idea of a cutesy defense does. You try to engage in very specific situations where you have the upper hand. So a lot of sentries coming out. That'll save a lot of minerals for additional tech. or an infrastructure, mostly infrastructure. And those force fields will let you stay alive a lot longer. So you can have like one immortal here blasting away at roaches, which is probably exactly his plan, as there's a roach. That's not a roach, that's a roach killer. They 3-shot roaches, I do believe. Lots of creep tumor coming out. Creep spread being really important on this map, just as with many others. But remember, the map control and the map vision is something that the creep really helps out a lot with. And in this map, there's no other way to really regain that other than just, you know, throwing random units around. And I'm also surprised we don't see some additional Overlord spread. Kind of surprised by that, actually. Where are all the Overlords? He just doesn't have them, apparently. He's making do without Overlords. It's fine, guys. I got it. Okay, coming in, some additional gateways. Warp Gate is just about done. Robotics Facility is continuing to pump out. Good job there. Continue to pump out Immortals. And finally, a Zealot with a cool skin, by the way. This is a cool Zealot skin. Looking a little bit more like Sith Lords, especially if you play red at all. Let's see, we've got another... Ooh, not another. We have a Warp Prism coming out. Warp Prism Harass with 2 Immortals is actually... you can just call it the Building Killer Squad. And with Warp Pins, they can actually cause a huge amount of problems. Ooh, this could also be a variant on the Immortal Sentry all-in. There's no forward pylon, although I don't know if his opponent knows that this is coming, so this could actually do really well. I think he saw the army back at home. I don't think he saw it leave. Still don't like the placement of this cannon or this pylon, to be completely honest. Too easy to snipe. So the Immortal Sentry all-in was something at the very end of Wings of Liberty. This was how you played against Zergs. The idea is basically you need generally a proxy pylon, but the sentries keep everything away from the Immortals. The Immortals kill everything else. It's a pretty simple build, to be completely honest. He needs to put down some more of those force fields. He needs to keep those things... Guardian Shield. He needs a Guardian Shield as well. That'll help nullify the damage quite a bit. So decent job there. These sentries are really vulnerable. As soon as the sentries are gone, these Immortals are toast. So now the Immortals are toast. That hurts. Not going to be able to get off. Remember, he is on creep. Not going to be able to escape. Focus down. Get one more roach. Don't just run. Kill her at the roach. Kill it. That hurts me so. But a lot of the action was happening back here, so don't blame him near as much. Interesting engagement. The Zealots going for the Hydras and the Zerglings going for the Stalkers. Not exactly ideal. So the Warp Prism here, usually that goes with the Immortals and the Sentries, so you can reinforce and keep those expensive Immortals alive, but also works out pretty well here. Trying to focus down... Oh, I don't like this. Okay. Continuing to take out the units that are trying to kill him. That's a really big deal, actually. But he was trying to take out... Oh, no. Can he get away? Nope. I think he's actually just going to leave behind all of these units. Sorry, guys. Sucks to be you guys. Looks like he'll do a pretty decent amount of damage, though. Is he going to warp in? He really wants to get that spawning pool. He knows that that's a target. That's got to hurt as well. Warping in range of those... Candace is just going to run away. Please run away. Hallelujah. Okay, so taking stock of the situation. Afterwards, we have lots of workers killed from Stefanovich. Something neglected to notice before. I apologize. Units killed. Not tons. Units lost, though, in terms of resources. Stefanovich is actually leading, so this could actually bode really well for him. Can this start the beginning of a comeback for Stefanovich? I actually don't know. So we're going to keep watching. That's the plan. Is it going to take a ninja expansion? It's not really a ninja expansion. Usually you take this one. It's a lot easier to defend. But we're not going to do that. We like this one up here. We like straight lines. That's good creep spread here. Like the new creep spread animation with the little wobbly, nasty spider thingy. Giant worm. Fits really well with the Zerg motif, I think. Good job being continually annoying with this Warp Prism. And this base actually, it's not going to fall. It's going to lose a lot of hit points, though. You should have just continued to focus fire that. He could come back. He could also do a lot of damage here in the main, as remember, he just pulled all those units out of the way. The worker count is 27 to 47. Looks like Stefanovich has got his, he's kind of got a grip on this game. He's not really willing to let it go, which I commend him for. Some additional worker production, needs to remember to keep doing that. The robotics bay, we're going to see some colossi coming out soon. Do we have... Okay, we do see charge being researched. What about upgrades? Where are we sitting on upgrades? +1/+1 is done. On +1 shields, not something you see every day. Generally see people go for the +1/+1 armor and weapons, and then additional +2/+2 before shields, unless they're going for something really crazy that involves a lot of archons, which very well may happen. We've seen that Stefanovich likes to go for both Templar techs at the same time previously, so interested to see what happens there. Extended Thermal Lance has not even been started. There's no Colossi in production as of yet. We look like we will be seeing one here in just a moment. Some additional Warp-ins here at this really annoying Warp Prism. Gonna keep doing some more damage. Good reaction time out of Unica. And a good placement there. Ooh, the good surround, actually. So Unica's going to take this out without much problem. All this is doing, it's continuing to make sure that this base is not able to be fully utilized. It's trying to shoo away this Warp Prism, but it was long gone. And another Warp Prism. Warp Prisms, very underutilized in my opinion. Terran play, especially in Heart of the Swarm, revolves around drops, particularly at this point in time with Hellbats. And there's no reason that Protoss players can't do the same thing. Ooh, he's going to get caught on creep. It does not have Ignite Afterburners. He needs to try to get off creep immediately. I don't know if he'll be able to get that done. Ugh. The Hydras, they don't have muscular augments. That's the reason they lived. Excellent job. Saving that. Okay, moving on. Actually, a decent number of units coming out from Unica right now. It looks like he's gearing up to try to go ahead and take out the front of that base. However, there's not been very much scouting information done anytime recently. It looks like he's now coming in for the first time in quite some time. And he stops. He was thinking about going in. I was all excited for it, and then nothing. Ooh, the Nidus network. It is going to be scouted immediately, though, and with Warpins, this might not be quite as bad. Where's the army, though? The army is coming back. This Colossi needs to be careful that it does not get caught too far forward. Oh, it's going to get taken down immediately. The Hydras are going to focus fire it. The Colossi are going to go down stat. However, now there's not going to be much that Unica can do. Another excellent choice there from Unica, trying to get back into the game. And Stefanovich getting a little bit lucky with that pylon. However, I wouldn't actually call that luck. Generally, it's a really good idea to cover your base in buildings, not just in one place, but so you can see. I generally like to throw my supply depots out here so I can see if a drop's coming a little bit faster. Another one right here, just make sure I have vision. Out in the corners, things like that. They are more vulnerable, but the idea is that you are paying attention enough to the minimap that you're able to make things happen. Ouch. Hate to be that zealot. Not even here, and he's almost dead. Stationary defenses. Remember, as your bases get more spread out, your army gets less mobile. Stationary defenses become more and more valuable. If he needs to pick up, he will get away with that Warp Prism, and it'll be annoying sometime in the future. The Nidus network, I'd like to see him try that again in additional locations, and not necessarily even just for attack. You can throw a Nidus network here, and another one right here, and then all of a sudden, you can defend against all these harasses that are happening really, really well. So remember, Nidus networks don't necessarily have to be for the equivalent of Zerg drops, because Zerg drops you can do with Overlords. That's kind of how it works. But Nidus networks allow you to do something completely different, and it's actually how Nidus canals worked in Brood War. You had to build them on creep. So, and with Overlords not dropping creep, you had to build them on your base, and unless your opponent was Zerg, and that actually really helped you out. Just defend lots of these very far apart bases. Now this map, it's not super far apart. I'd actually like to see this base taken here as well. But just keep that in mind. Nidus networks have lots of uses. They're not used frequently enough. Stefanovich here just continuing to amass a pretty decent army. He did invest in that Templar archives. We do have Storm not researched. It looks like we're going to just be seeing Archons. Where are they? for the Archons? Or are we going to see Storm be researched? They're sitting here like they want to have Storm be researched. But without Storm researching, it feels a lot like Archons. Both of the players have been supply blocked a little bit. Here, Unica just barely getting unsupply blocked. Now we see a whole bunch of production coming out. With that Spire done, we do see some mutas and +1 attack going down. Looking at the worker count, it's still, though, Stefanovich still has a pretty commanding lead in workers. Let's see, checking out the resources tab. What about income? There we go. It's starting to equalize, actually, although Stefanovich still has a much higher gas income. Which, remember, gas equals tech, and tech equals generally more powerful and concentrated armies. Generally, Zerg players only win against Protoss armies of this composition when the army supplies are flip-flopped, and even then, that's a close match. Because Protoss armies are very cost-effective, very efficient. Looks like a lot of these workers here are going to get taken off guard. Will he come back? He will come back. Try to corner these mutas. Ooh, I think, nope, he's actually just going for the base race. This number of mutas is annoying and it's large, but it's not to the unmanageable size yet, although it very well could be. We do see those Archons being created. They were not small enough to fit through the hole. That is one benefit, or one downside of this. With the DPS of mutas being so low, Stefanovich saying, you know what, I got this army. Bring it. Come at me, bro. The Colossi here at the back can do lots of damage. The mutas here will be arriving in just a moment. The Stalkers here do not have blink. They won't be able to chase them off. The Colossi here are going to be a little bit vulnerable, although not as much, as mutas retreat to join the main army. I actually think that was a bad idea. The mutas should be continually harassing, destroy the economy of your opponent, as there's absolutely nothing back home to defend anything. The mutas here are trying to be annoying. He needs to let them heal up. Look at how fast they heal. He needs to keep those alive. In the meanwhile, Stefanovich attacking from another angle, taking out that 4th base. These units here will be able to clean up this. However, watch out. This was an attempt to draw out these units. And it looks like it worked completely successfully. The Colossi here doing huge damage from the low ground, actually. Some additional mutas coming out, but mutas not the greatest defense here against Colossi. The Stalkers actually not. I don't know. What is he doing? The Stalkers, you can take him out. All the Stalkers would be easily able to take out that number of mutas. Okay, it looks like he does save at least one of the Colossi. I think he could actually take that on. Looks like he just wants to warp in additional Stalkers before he goes in. Not a bad idea. Surprised you keep sending in Zealots, though, not sending in the rest of the army. Although, if you've got actually no bank, I don't know why you're doing that. Unit count, worker lead still goes to Stefanovich. And it looks like this Colossi will probably go down. It's stuck here in the front, the move command. Although now with no army on the ground, it's mostly just these mutas and corruptors. There's a few roaches, but this, these two roaches, these two immortals. I'm tripping all over my words today. Turns out, it happens. Looks like Unica is going to go ahead and throw down the GG, and Stefanovich looks like he might be starting a comeback here. So excellent game. Big key thing here was, although the Immortal Sentry all-in did not work, if that was exactly what was going for, then it didn't work. If your attempt was to distract your opponent from the back, that worked much better. Although you lost a lot of really expensive units. 2 or 3 sentries and some zealots would have distracted your opponent just as well at the front, and then you could have dropped those immortals back here, and the immortals would have been, I think you would actually been able to kill them kind of right then, or at least take out some additional buildings. However, not a big deal. Still worked out in the end, so good job, Stefanovich. Good luck, Unica. And now it looks like we're going to go into Game 4 of